Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Welcome to the Tribute Series, where we pay tribute to the stars. And here are your hosts. It's Doug and Pam.
Oh, I have to laugh at that every time. I can't help it. Anyway, welcome to the Tribute Series. I'm your host, Doug, and I have my own little drop-dead diva with me tonight. She is Pam, my co-host. Pam, welcome to the show.
I have to start thinking of names for you.
Okay, well, you have to be the one that starts the show to call me names. So by all means, you can definitely lead in the show. Mm-hmm. So how are you today?
Good. I'm always happy when we have a guest.
Yeah, especially when they're handsome and talented like our guest Adam tonight, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Is this where I chime in and say thank you?
Oh yeah. By all means, you don't have you can just listen to us talk about you, boost your ego. Anyway, our guest is Adam Harrington tonight, and he, as you can tell, is on the phone with us. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Oh, no problem. She had mentioned that you were going to be on Drop Dead Diva. Is it this coming week?
This coming Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will definitely. I've missed a few episodes. I got to go get caught up, and then I can see you on my television, because I do miss you on my television, because Secret Circle is no longer with us, and Queer as Folk is no longer with us, and those were two of my favorite shows.
Oh, really? Yeah, those were.
And you were fantastic on your arc in Queer as Folk, I must say. I missed that show. That was a classic, beautiful done show, and we needed that for our community. We needed something like that, and you definitely came in right there at the end of the series and showed your stuff, per se.
Well, I love his little suit thingy he wore.
Oh yeah, that was.
Rage.
The trick of that suit was it was a metallic spandex, and anything the suit touched, it would rub off. So I couldn't. Once I was in that thing, I couldn't really sit or anything. And we just had to get me on set. The other thing is that it was skin tight.
Yes, it was obvious.
But
I'm not sure what was in there, if that was you or not. But
I had some padding, but I thought I was going to be able to get away with some underwear, and that just wasn't going to happen. So there was some stuff done to keep the censors at bay, but that was pretty much it.
Yes, when you made your appearance, I was like, pause, rewind, pause.
Well, thank you. I'm very flattered.
They did a good job with that, because going through the series itself, watching Michael and Justin create this comic book, and when it was coming to become a film, I was like, God, who are they going to be to play Rage, aka Brian's character? And wow, they did a great job when they found you.
Well, I was you know what, I was happy to come in, and like you say, at that time, excuse me, that series really pushed envelopes in a lot of ways. Not only exposure for that community, but a lot of controversial issues. And I remember being in L.A. for the season premiere of the 5th season. So I came in at the end of season 4 and finished my storyline at the very beginning of season 5. And they knew it was going to be the last season. And I was in L.A., and to hear them get up and speak, the creators of the show and some other people, and hear them talk about when this show came and the political changes that had happened while it was on. I was very happy to get the gig when I got it, just to be involved. But I was really proud of being able to be involved in that show, considering, I think when it first started being cast, nobody would submit their clients. At that time, a show like that in Los Angeles, or in America anyway, people weren't going near it. And it wasn't until Sharon Gless signed on. She found out about it, went after it, and it was only after she signed on that agencies were comfortable submitting their clients.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and I just remember, well, I think it speaks very highly of Sharon, as well as the other cast members that came on. But I just thought, wow, things have things have definitely changed.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would bring another show of that caliber back to to cable. I mean, of course, Showtime or HBO would have to air it because of the content. Thank you, the word I was looking for. But it was short-lived. It was only 5 seasons, and I was really hoping for more. And I've always wanted to have a reunion show, but they've never done that. Where they 10 years later, where are they now? Type thing, and it blasted them all off to different projects. And now you recently were on The Secret Circle and worked again with Gail Harold. And how was that to reconnect with him?
Well, it was fantastic working with Gail. Gail is, I think, an incredibly talented actor, and he's the nicest guy as well. But he and I had never met.
Oh, you didn't?
No, we'd never met on Queer as Folk, because me playing the actor playing the comic book hero that was based on him, we never had any scenes together, and he was never there when I was there. So the first time we met was meeting at the hotel, getting into the transport vehicle to be taken to set for Secret Circle. Which was kind of like, hi, Rage. Yeah, you were Rage, and I played you. Hi. How are you? Nice to meet you. I still got away with, I think, being less naked than he was in this series.
Yeah.
But we had, I think, the very first scene we shot in Secret Circle was the drowning scene from the pilot.
Yeah.
And that was just a great fun way to start. And we talked about how, our characters had probably known each other for a very long time, but it started out well. I loved working with him. I loved watching his stuff, and it would have been fantastic to see where they took his character and my character in a second season, but I was just happy, to get the chance to kind of come full circle in a way in the time that we did have.
Yeah, it's nowadays, I mean, I'm 38, so I've grown, I'm still young, but not up there. But when growing up, TV shows used to last forever. They would be on for 8 or 9 seasons, or longer or shorter, rough about. And now, no show gets a chance. They're either canceled 2 episodes in, or canceled and they have unaired episodes, or they get 1 season and they're not picked up. One of the 2 that really pissed me off this year was The Secret Circle and Ringer. Those 2 shows were a complete season. And then, bam, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know anything about the future now because it's been canceled. I mean, it's not fair to us who invest our weekly in promoting the show and weekly investment into the show. It just really is. It's sad for us, but it's also sad because of the crews and the actors and actresses and creators of the show. And and Secret Circle was such a great, unique show. Sort of like the Craft and. And I look in your resume, and you've done a lot of these like sci-fi type guest stars as well. So you really must like that type of thing, or hey, that's just the job that came about that time. I'm not sure which is which, but you've done a lot of like Star Trek and a lot of the other type of shows, Millennium or something. I believe that was one of them.
I did. Millennium was one of my first. Well, I lived for a while in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm not sure if you know how much is filmed there, but Vancouver has a lot of sci-fi stuff. I think the geography is good. It's raining. It's dark. Even the architecture is slightly surreal and modernistic, and I think it lends really well to sci-fi. So when you're living there and working, you can't help but end up working on a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. And was X-Files up there too?
X-Files was, I think the first big series that came out of Vancouver, and I could be getting this wrong because it's going back so far, was MacGyver. I know that X-Files, when that came along, it was the first big hit award-winning series that I think Vancouver had. And then Millennium kind of spun out of that, and then, of course, it did all the Stargates, which, when you were talking about shows, that I think the first one ran for 10 seasons. So Vancouver's a great sci-fi place.
Yeah.
So I think any actor working there, you're going to end up working on sci-fi. Do I kind of seek it out? I don't think I'm quite there career-wise yet to say I will only work in this genre. But they've been great opportunities for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely for sure. How was it working with Thomas Dekker? I'm a huge fan of his.
Oh. Thomas is, I think the very first time I was on set with him, he's such a pro and he's been at it for such a long time. It was obvious. And then it would just, I don't think we even talked that much about our relationship because I thought that our relationship was so well written. A lot of it had to do with what's not said. I mean, there's a lot of times it became this pattern of he asks me something and I don't answer him and he walks away.
Yeah.
But I think our first scenes together were so nicely written and so much was kind of on the page that we just kind of both walked into it. And then we'd, reminisce about old movies. He's an old movie buff and a phenomenally talented musician as well. So, but you can tell I think he's been working since he was 4.
Yeah, he has. It's amazing. And speaking of his music, I mean, not many people know, unless they're really hardcore fans, know about his music. And his album that he has out is just phenomenal. I mean, it's so unique and different than a lot of the stuff that's out there. And he's just multi-talented. He's one of those actors that can just do so many different levels. And he was so great in this show. And then, so hopefully, I hope he gets another pilot as well. And I hope you get another pilot as well.
Oh, because
we need more Adam.
I don't think he'll be lacking for work. I think he's so talented in so many different areas. I think in a way, he's easily cast, but also very unique.
Yeah.
And I think that bodes well for a very long career.
Yeah, definitely. Now going back to Queer Spoke for a second, there was some graphic scenes in there. How are you able to go into that mindset to perform those type of scenes? Because it must be interesting and tough and different than anything you've ever done before.
Well, bourbon is a great motivator. No, I think I only had one sex scene.
Yeah, with the character of Justin. Yeah.
With the character of Justin. The irony, of course, is when they filmed it, it was filmed in, for your listeners, it was shot in, I think, a kind of a generic hotel room or someone's bedroom or something like that. But we didn't actually have one because where they were shooting, I think in similar episodes, they were at a giant pool party in L.A. So they just built a bedroom in the corner of the pool party set.
Oh, wow.
And then kind of had a closed set. And then they came and talked to us and just said, I think if anything, the fact that it didn't have to be a lovemaking scene, it was just kind of almost like sex for sport.
Yeah.
That they said, listen, it's just intense. Just go at it. Don't have to worry about being emotional, or it doesn't have to be loving or tender or anything like that, or sentimental. And I think in some ways that helped, because when they yelled action, I just think we both kind of put the blinders on and went for it.
Oh, that's great.
And,
do you ever?
I know they didn't have to shoot the scene for very long.
Oh, okay.
It was rather cold, and of course he was an absolute such a sweet guy and so nice to work with, because I think that was the first scene we had together.
Yeah.
They always seem to do those at the most uncomfortable point.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Gosh, I missed that show. I've got the box set. I'm going to have to go back and watch it again, because it was just really good. And we, for our community, we don't get a lot of shows like that, and Will and Grace, did wonders for TV viewers to feel more comfortable with things that they're not comfortable with, and now we have Modern Family, who has a gay couple on there, and that's like #1 show on TV. So I mean, years now down, it's been a 5, 7, 8 years since QAF went off the air, and it's. I wish they would resurrect that again. Do you ever keep in touch with any of the characters? I mean, the actors that played on there?
Well, it's funny you should say that. I think I bump into maybe Robert Gant once a year or so. We just kind of cross paths being in L.A. And then Scott Lowell and I worked on a small independent film together.
Oh, wow. What was the name of that one?
It was called Dinner with Fred. It's It's a true story, actually, about this Canadian farmer in the Second World War who can't go and fight and ends up... he was the first person to use kind of natural methods to make agricultural product, like chickens grow faster using changes in diet and light cycles and all that stuff. But it revolutionized, because at that time there was a food shortage. Revolutionized things. Anyway, the real man who did this, his grandson was going to USC Film School. And when this man passed away, his grandson decided to make a film about his life. And I got cast to play this guy, Fred, and Scott came in to play a fantastic job, played a real period reporter from the 1940s.
Oh, okay.
And we got to kind of reconnect because we'd met during the Queer as Folk time. So he and I have gotten to work together. Gail and I have gotten to work together. Robert Gantz and I cross paths occasionally, and as well as Peter Page.
I love him.
We see each other more often. We cross paths every so often, but he's doing incredibly well and is becoming quite a successful writer as well as actor in his own right.
Yeah, he recently, well, not recently, a few years back, he did a movie about, I can't remember what it was called, but it was about being gay and getting the how other people perceive gays, and it was really a good show. I like to follow them where they go. Now Randy, who played Justin, I haven't seen him in anything. I don't. He's like vanished. I don't even know where he's at.
I think he works. From what I understand, he's kind of very, very busy in New York because I think he started from the theater and then kind of went back there as well. I know that. I think right after QAF ended, he was on stage on Broadway doing something. Yeah. They just recently did a reunion in overseas, and I watched the video clips on YouTube, and it was so cool to see everybody. I can't remember the girls' names, but the two lesbians, they interviewed them. Taya Gill and Michelle.
Michelle, yes. Oh gosh, I love them. They were.
Clooney, I think her name is.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was just so good to see everybody after so many years.
Yeah.
Now I'm a big horror buff. Pam's a scaredy cat. She don't go there.
Don't be
I'm with you,
on
Pam.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites.
When I go to the theaters, I always love them, but I won't go out of my way. For other people have to drag me.
Oh, well then you guys can, cuddle up and cover each other's eyes then.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Valentine, and you were in Valentine with Denise Richards and David Boreanaz. And that was such a fun film. I love those type of those young generation, horror movies like Scream, and I know what you did last summer. Valentine was so good. What was that like being in a horror film?
Isn't that the one? Doesn't somebody get electrocuted in a hot tub, or somebody boiled to death?
Yeah.
That was fun. I got to work with, all my stuff was with Katherine Heigl, which even at that time you could tell she was going to go places.
Oh yeah.
And I got to play. I think my character talked about himself in the third person. Two people, headlines like "Jason likes your dress" and Jason
I remember
doesn't
that.
play that way or something. I think anytime you're playing a character that's that out there, you just have a ton of fun.
Yes.
I think my favorite bit in that film was during our little date. We had a date scene that was it was like a blind date that just went horribly wrong, and she's scraping into the leftover mayonnaise on her plate. Help me.
Oh gosh.
I remember in the movie I'm blathering away saying all the stuff that I like, and it cuts to her plate, and all you hear is her fork making that squeaky noise.
Oh.
Writing "Help me" in the plate. I always thought that was a great little
Pam,
moment.
I'll send you a copy of it. Just cover your eyes when they kill her.
Okay. He sent me one last week, and I just listened to it and didn't actually watch it. It was with Jonathan Schack, and I told him, I says, "Oh my God, I can hear them slicing people.
No.
I just can't do this."
Maybe what can do now is now you can go back and watch like the original Friday the 13th. That it's been so many years and special effects have come such a long way. It may actually be funny to you now.
Oh no, that's okay. Thank you.
No, just no.
Only if you'll come watch it with me.
Oh, all right. It's a date.
Well, if you can't watch them, how do you get into a movie like that? I mean, just because you know it's not real, but
yeah, I Valentine was the only horror movie, as far as I know, that I've done, and I didn't have any horror scenes. My character was kind of brought in as a foil that you thought he may be the killer, but he wasn't.
oh, okay.
So I've never had to, been faced with the challenge of, screaming as my latex face gets pulled off or anything like that. Mostly what I've been shot and things like that, and to set up those kind of stunts, there's enough anticipation and safety going on that you naturally your adrenaline starts to pump a bit, and when they rig you for like a bullet to go off, they actually rig you with a tiny little explosive to blow the blood pack, and you're either on remote control or there's wires kind of running down your leg over to someone, so it kind of already puts you in that state because you're kind of being wired like a bomb.
Yeah.
So it's not too much of a stretch to respond to this. Plus, when those things go off, you get a good thump.
Oh, I would imagine.
Done. Yeah.
And you were also in Dexter. Now, I watched like maybe the first season of that, and it was I think it was on CBS or something, and didn't realize that the next season, I think it was, all of a sudden it wasn't there. So I thought, okay, well, they must have just canceled it, and come to find out that it was on cable. But then I thought, I don't know if I want to go back to that, because that was a bunch of bloody, gory stuff, too.
That was a lot of blood, too.
That's a great show.
I love being on Dexter just because I'd watched it for years, and, Michael does such great work. I would have easily dealt with my horror phobia.
Yeah.
Again, I got spared. I played a cop. I wasn't really covered in blood ever, so.
Yeah. Now, when you left Queer as Folk, did you get right into Show Me Yours, the series Show Me Yours, or were you working both?
I'm trying to remember. I think I had done the first season of Show Me Yours. That's how I met the casting people for Queer as Folk.
Oh, okay.
And then I think I did the second season of Show Me Yours after that, or anyway, it was in around the same time. And of course, that was going in a direction similar to kind of Drop Dead Diva, which was much more tongue-in-cheek, much more lighthearted fare. Although I think I was semi-naked in that as well.
Yeah, you were.
Kind of sensing a theme.
Yeah, I didn't watch that, so maybe I need to find that.
Yeah, I YouTubed it to see, and yeah, you were kind of naked. So I guess that wasn't on regular TV, was it? Was it on cable?
We had in Canada. There was There's a network called Showcase, and at that time anyway, it was kind of similar to Showtime. It showed like the Red Shoe Diaries, I think, aired on Showcase in Canada, and could get away with much more. Pushing the edge with the content, but that show was a very tongue-in-cheek sex comedy where a psychologist and a biologist are forced to write a book on human sexuality together. So her point of view is all Freudian and psychology, and his was animal instinct. People don't think, they do. And they're forced to write a book together on human sexuality by interviewing people, and then it becomes a when will they or won't they sleep together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to look for that, because I just looked up on Amazon, and you can buy the two series, complete series, so I'd like to watch that, because we didn't have that down here. And
it's almost a mini-series. They were only 8-episode seasons.
Oh, okay.
So it's only 16 in total, but it was a lot of fun. Of course, every week they would interview somebody new who was dealing with some sexual aspect of their life or the way they look at things or a relationship, and then, of course, we would argue about who thought what about the situation as a whole prelude to our own relationship. But that was shot in the dead of winter in Toronto, Canada, which is like Chicago in the wintertime.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always yelling at Canada when we get the really bitter cold weather or a lot of snow or something. Keep it up there, guys. Quit putting it down here.
Yes. A couple weeks ago, we had Seth Peterson on. He is from Burn Notice and on USA. And I did a little, foot and mouth thing. I was looking on IMDb, and a lot of the movies that people have been in, I haven't seen since they first came out. And it's been 10, 15 years. This movie that I was going to talk about with him was on, and he was in a movie that was called Can't Hardly Wait with Jennifer Love Hewitt. It was back in the mid-'90s. And on IMDb, it said Keg Guy. Pam, do you remember what I'm going to? You do what I'm going to say?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I was like, oh, I see you were an extra in Can't Hardly Wait. And he's like, oh, well, thanks for calling me an extra. I had lines, I mean, he was just joking. Because when you see Keg Guy, that looks like just an extra part, or, that you were just, holding a keg or something. I didn't remember. It was 15 years ago. But anyway, he was funny about it and stuff. Well, I was just getting ready to ask you about one of my other favorite movies because it says Cute Guy. Before I say extra or anything, you were in Connie and Carla, which is one of my all-time favorite films. That is the most hysterical film, but I won't. What was your role? Because it just says Cute Guy. Did you speak? Because I don't want to degrade you.
It was a setup to reveal where they were in Los Angeles. They, of course, the premise of the movie is I think they see something, a mob hit or something. They have to escape because they're going to their lives are in danger. And they end up going to L.A. and going to a club. And it sets up the idea of them doing their routine somewhere.
Yeah.
But they quickly realize they're dancing with these two guys. I was dancing with Tony Colletti. And the guys turn and kiss each other, which, kind of drags them down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and they realize they're in a gay bar, and then they see drag queens come out and perform, and it gives them the idea of hiding out by being performers in the bar and doing their show. So Cute Guy was one of the guys that kissed.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to go back and look for that again because I don't recall that. And once again, that was 8 years ago. So I've seen so many movies and TV.
Yeah, it was a blink and you'll miss me.
Oh, okay.
No.
One of those things.
Okay.
But I think at the time, I think they had phoned. I forget what I was doing at the time, and they said, "Listen, we're doing this movie. We're having this problem." Because I think I had done Queer as Folk by that point. I'm not sure. And they said, "Listen, we need two guys. We don't want to use just anybody because there is stuff to the scene and you're going to be with the two leads, but we need the guys to kiss, and we're having a bit of a problem finding people that want to do it because it's not exactly a lead." And I think I said, "Oh, I don't care. I think I had done Show Me Yours and Queer as Folk at that point, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to be sinking any ships by doing this. It would have already happened, so bring it on, so to speak." And I had been such a fan of Toni Collette for years. I was like,
oh
I
my
don't
God.
care.
She is my all-time favorite
I love
actress
her.
of all
she's
time.
great. And she was so nice. So nice and so sweet. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll dance with her and kiss a guy just to meet her.
Exactly. I mean, and did you know, and I don't know if Pam, that she sings as well. She's got a band.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She has a band called Toni Collette and the Finish, and there's only one CD out that came out maybe 6 years ago, and it is the most beautiful CD, one of the most beautiful CDs I've ever heard, and I wish she would make more, but, she's been busy with her last, with her movies and her United States of Tara, that's on cable, and so, but I hope she goes back to it. That's really good. But yeah, she's phenomenal. I mean, I first fell in love with her when she was on the one with Bruce Willis, The Sixth Sense, when she was on Sixth Sense. That's my first dollar.
I remember that scene in the car where the kid's telling her about her mother, I think. Unbelievable. I remember thinking at that point she was just extraordinary. And, of course, Muriel's Wedding.
That's the one I've discovered her in. I love that movie. That's one of my favorites.
I remember that movie premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. And at that point, ABBA was still kind of everyone's dirty little secret.
Yeah.
It hadn't quite had it. Mamma Mia hadn't happened. It hadn't had a big resurgence. And I remember the director just kind of walked out front to everybody before the movie started. And all he said was, "I hope you like ABBA."
Oh, no.
And let the movie roll. And, of course, it became this massive success.
Yeah. Now, when you got cast for The Ugly Truth, you were able to were you able to reconnect with Katherine Heigl that you did Valentine with?
Yeah. We were, of course, at a fantastic location in Temecula, California, at their balloon festival, which happens every summer, and we were all I'd come to set to do my stuff. I was only there for one day, but of course we reconnected and joked a bit about how far we've come since Valentine and how much things have changed and all that stuff. But again, very, very sweet, and nice to work with her again, and nice to kind of play with her again in that comedy vein.
Mm-hmm.
She does comedy very well.
Yes.
What's that?
And she's done. Oh, go ahead.
I said she does comedy very well.
She does do comedy very well. She really suits it. I think just because her, from the 2 times that I met her and got to spend some time with her, kind of very, very good sense of humor, very eager to enjoy finding laughs and stuff.
Yeah. When we book someone and I go through and I do all the research and take all my notes and stuff, I'm always like, it's like 6 degrees of separation in Hollywood, I swear. It just seems like one person that I love, you've worked with almost everybody. You were in a film with one of a great actress and actor, Mila Jovovich, Faces in the Crowd. And that movie was so trippy. And Pam, it's not really horror; it's more of a thriller. And I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to watch it, okay?
Okay.
But and it's also got Julia McMahon in it, who was from Nip Tuck and Daytime as well. But I don't remember. It says your name was Bryce number 8, so I don't know if you were a face, one of the faces that she was seeing, or what was that? What was her role?
I haven't seen the finished product movie, so I can finished product of the movie. So I know what we shot though. Early on, I of course play the setup for this movie is that she witnesses a trauma and loses the ability to recognize people's faces, which is a genuine diagnosable problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the first chunk of the movie where we're making love, and my face keeps changing to the different prices.
Yes, I remember now.
There's a scene somewhere, I think there's a court scene, or I'm meeting her somewhere. It happens a couple of times that I'm running into her, and I'm just one of the many faces that are confusing her. But I remember we did have a bedroom scene.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I thought, I see a common thread here.
Yeah.
Something's happening.
People like to see you naked. I mean, and if any listener wants to really go and see him naked, you can YouTube Connor James from Queer as Folk, and there's a clip of all his scenes put together in one.
Boy. Well, someday I'm going to look back when I'm 80 and, as we all should, and think, I don't know why any of us ever wore clothes. We all looked fantastic when we were younger.
What do you do to keep in shape?
I exercise, go to the gym, do yoga. I really enjoy surfing, so I'll do that a lot. But, in my family, we're all very athletic. I think we're just hardwired to want to exercise as a way of feeling good. And then, of course, being in this career path, you recognize that in order to be marketable, depending on what categories you fall in, it's good to stay in shape. And
so what can you tell us about, if you can, about your role this week on Drop Dead Diva?
I can tell you many things. I can tell you that Joan Rivers is coming back.
Yes,
in this episode, and she's fantastic in it. I can tell you that the character of Owen returns.
Yeah.
Now, if you've been following the season, Owen proposes to Jane and then disappears. Well, this episode is when he comes back, and it's a big, big, big twist in the plot as to why he was away.
Is he already married, I wonder? I know you can't tell me, but these are thoughts that go through my head. I know you can't. I'm watching it anyhow. I love that show.
Me too.
Good. I think it's a fantastic show. Brooke Elliott is. I'm surprised she's not nominated for what she does. The whole cast is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I would not have. I could never have guessed what happened. Why he went away.
Oh. God, can we get to Sunday already? Goodbye.
I know, right?
I want to see it.
It's a big twist.
Yeah.
And what role are you playing?
I come into the episode, I come into a lawyer that's going against Jane in a case. Jane is defending, on top of all that stuff going on, Jane is defending a woman who is eating her dead fiancé's ashes.
Ew.
Oh my God, gross.
Yes. And I'm playing the lawyer who is representing the boy's mother. And she's trying to get the ashes back. But it's a fantastic case. Obviously, the legality of trying to prove whether or not you can do this, but then there's, of course, 2 plot twists that takes you somewhere completely different.
Wow.
About why she's eating the ashes, anyway, it was a great episode to work on, and it's between Owen coming back and then the plot twists within the case, because when I first read it, I thought, oh, come on, you can't do this. Who's going to eat ashes? This isn't believable. How can you? But it's brilliant the way it's written, and it actually makes a strange amount of sense when you see the twists played out. So it was great fun. And in the episode, the actor who plays the judge in the episode is Bruce Davidson.
Oh, okay.
Now, for people know way back, Bruce was Willard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That movie. Yeah. And of course, he's done the X-Men movies and Longtime Companion and stuff. But I had worked with him recently on a short-lived HBO series called Luck.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic to walk on set and to see him. And he's a great guy who's telling all kinds of stories about, Hollywood, and it was nice to get the chance to work with him again so soon after doing something that was, had such promise to it that unfortunately kind of went the way of Secret Circle.
Yeah. I know, like we said earlier, so many shows don't even get a chance, and it seems like it's just so bad nowadays. I mean, scripted television is so important. We have so many of these reality shows that are hogging up every station on DirecTV and all these boxes where you have like 1,000 channels to choose from. No wonder people have ADD anymore, because there's so many to choose from. I mean, doing this show, not only do I want to watch my shows that I normally watch, I have to also, watch the shows of the guests so I can at least be familiar with their characters and stuff. Yeah. And it's just mind-boggling. There's so many shows, but then you get invested, and then you read online, oh, this show got canceled after 2 episodes. I think 2 episodes. And the prime example was last season there was a show on NBC called The Playboy Club, and it was set in the with Hugh Hefner back in the 50s and stuff, and it was fantastic. I loved the show. 2 episodes in, I was all suspensed, and then boom, it got canceled. And I thought, how in 2 episodes can you really determine that? I mean, I feel bad for the crew and all that, and we don't get to see the unedited episodes and stuff, so it's just really tough to really, I mean, it's hard for me to take on a new show because I'm afraid of that, happening. We never know. It's just a gamble you have to take. And luckily, we got a full year, a full season of The Secret Circle. I mean, we all want more, and we've all did our petitions online to bring it back, but
that's still going around.
Yeah, we're still trying to find a way to bring it back, but it does. I guess they don't listen to us. Yeah,
well, I think it's the powers that be. I think with that again, CW had there was just kind of like a bad coincidence. The show struggled to find its audience throughout its season, and it kind of changed and morphed and stuff. And then on top of it is the CW had a great chunk of pilots that came in for this next season. Yeah. And it was a very expensive show to shoot between all the cast members and all the special effects. And I think it's just, unfortunately, it's the flip of a coin and one of those decisions where there was just a good amount of really solid shows coming in, and I guess they felt that, those loyal fans that love Secret Circle may also like something new. And, maybe they'll like that. But Drop Dead Diva, 5 seasons now. I mean, hello, that's amazing. And the numbers are getting better, and, I think I didn't know the show too much before I worked on it. I was kind of like, a little Lifetime show, and, it's kind of funny stuff. But it's kind of become my guilty pleasure just because it's kind of lighthearted, but it's got good messages, and it's done well. And it's kind of fun to watch something like that these days with all the, I could watch news and probably just hide under the bed. Exactly. Yeah, I watch the news to get the weather, and that I don't even do much anymore because I just look on my phone to see what it's going to be like because the news is too depressing. So we want,
things that, escapism. We want
yeah,
that.
like, the sci-fi element of Secret Circle, everybody's witches, and, those
Right.
great universal themes of teenage adolescent angst and how it comes out. And then, again, with Drop Dead Diva, the idea that you had this kind of vapid model who comes back, very good-looking
Right.
vapid model that, goes to heaven and gets sent back to Earth into the plus-sized smart body of a female attorney.
Yeah. And I can't even imagine anybody else playing Jane. I mean,
No.
I think she's just perfect for this role.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
And lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah. And Margaret Cho had to be hysterical on set as well.
I know, and she's nominated. She's got an Emmy nomination.
I saw that. That's
for
amazing.
her Kim Jong-il, I think, on Saturday or on 30 Rock.
On 30 Rock, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this
that's
week
hysterical.
she's calling herself Lady Bodacious, and she wants to start a rock career. And she actually has a fantastic voice. Yeah.
Yeah, she has an album out.
Historical references to Lady Bodacious and what it meant, and she's honoring that and bringing it to life. So she's hysterical.
Yeah, and that was a show. Drop Dead Diva was one of those shows where I thought the premise was like, okay, how could this last that long? And then I'm just surprised. I mean, I'm just every season finale, and then the next season it's like, oh wow, more twists and more interesting factors are built into it. So I'm so glad that Lifetime has given it a home.
And too.
Oh
yeah,
I'm just everybody is coming in to do the show. They just had. I forget his name. He came on Nip Tuck, not Julian, the other actor.
Yeah, he's in the new show called Unforgettable. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I know
he played Sean McNamara on Nip Tuck, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm blanking on his name because I know who he is.
I know, me too. God, I hate when...
Who else is? Ben Feldman, who just also got nominated for an Emmy for his work on Mad Men. He'll be coming back as well this season to Drop Dead Diva because he was.
I miss Fred.
Do you?
I do. I love Fred.
I don't like Fred.
I don't like the new
the new guy, but a lot of people really loved Fred. He was a very sweet role.
Yeah. I mean, the new guy's okay, but he's no Fred. I need him back, especially with Stacy.
Oh, yeah.
So, going back before you did all this stuff, where did you grow up? And I think I read that you got a master's in marine biology, so that's a huge difference in acting. So what took you from one genre to the other? Well,
when I was a kid, I liked killer whales, and I liked the ocean, and I liked acting. So my parents were very shrewd and decided to make sure I got an insurance policy, so to speak. So I started scuba diving when I was 17. I went to college for marine biology. I went to grad school. And this was in all near Toronto, Canada. And then I moved across the country for a job in my field. I was curator of an aquarium. And while I was there, I had, finished all my education. I was working in my field, and I kind of thought, well, I know what this is going to look like because I've gotten the education and I'm doing it. If I ever wanted to do something else, now is probably a good time. If not, I should stick to this. And acting I'd always kind of done it unprofessionally. Always gone to the movies, being insanely jealous of what the actors got to do. And I decided to switch, and I was living on an island near Vancouver, Canada. So I moved to Vancouver. I packed up my scuba gear and got a bartending job because, the old cliche of being a waiter, it does give you the flexibility of going to auditions. Yeah. And, I started from there. I think the first job I got, I did an independent film, and then after that, the first job I got was the pilot of Stargate, the TV series. Okay. And I was really excited because I got to walk through the gate. Ah, yes. That had to be amazing. That was amazing. Of course, it's much different after they get through the special effects, so what you see on television is infinitely more exciting than what you actually see on set. Yeah. But now, do you ever watch yourself back in your guest spots and your roles that you've had? Do I ever watch myself?
Yeah, like do you ever like if you're on an episode of Millennium, did you watch that episode to see how you do? Do you ever critique yourself or?
Oh, I can't. I'm not good at watching myself. I kind of figure that when I'm on set and doing it, that's my job. What it looks like afterwards. I have watched my stuff. It's never a overly pleasurable experience. I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah, that
well, I hope
feel
I'm my own worst critic. I'm sure there's others out there, but I'd probably give them a run for their money.
Well, with your interest in marine biology and your acting, if they ever do a Jaws reboot, you can go do Jaws since you've been.
Right.
I think between from your lips to God's ears, as well as my mom's.
Oh, really?
I think that's what she thought. I think my dad thought I could. There was a series in the '60s called Sea Hunt.
Yeah, I remember.
And I think Lloyd Bridges was the lead of that. I think my dad was. You could do Sea Hunt, or some type of Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That was a popular show back when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my parents watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, you've still got a long career ahead of you. So I hope to see you in a nautical role.
That would be. It would be a blast.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a heck of a lot. Those are one of those. I mean, there are many jobs where I feel very blessed and very lucky to do what I do and get paid for it. And I'm always so touched when something I do, somebody responds to it and it makes them laugh or cry or be afraid of me or whatever. It just gives them an enjoyable couple hours entertainment. But yeah, I think if I was ever in that position to do something like that, I would really be just feeling I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this.
Yeah. Now, are you a video gamer at all?
I worked on one video game, but I think prior to that, the last time I played a video game, I think was Space Invaders at a corner store.
Me too.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
That was after that they got too complex, but just moving the thing back and forth and shooting, that I can do. Or those point and shoot games, I can do that.
Right.
But
Yeah, like Duck Hunt with the Mario Brothers. Yeah, that's about it.
I think even when I still hear, like if I see old footage and I hear the sound from Space Invaders, I can still smell like a corner store, like Joe Louis and chips and Twizzlers or candy, chocolate.
Now,
bar.
what was your? Now that I'm talking to you, your voice sounds familiar. Which video game did you do?
I did a game called L.A. Noire.
That's it. Okay. Because
Really?
I played that and I loved that.
No,
and
you didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played L.A. Noire. I love those
play it?
open-ended games like that. And I keep hearing you, and I'm thinking, God. I mean, I know you from TV, but I was like, I just played that maybe 6-7 months ago, or whenever it first came out, and I was just like, God, you sound so familiar. Yeah. I think you played. I can't remember offhand.
I was Roy Earl.
Roy.
I was the cop that everybody, apparently in the gaming world, everybody wanted to run over with a car.
Yes, I tried to.
Well,
and I
good
failed.
for you. I did my job.
Yeah, you did great. Oh, that's so cool. I see. That's what I'm saying. 6 degrees of separation. Because Pam, the video games nowadays, Pam, are very updated. They're like movies, and there's a lot of acting per se in them. And they hire people to play these voices. Now, back in the day when it was Mario Brothers, you just heard yippee, that was it.
Yeah.
But now you get to hear these people's voices, and so many of these actors like Adam and others do these roles. So when you're playing it and then you hear the voice, it just kind of clicks. So that's what this little moment was between us.
This was a video game that we shot over the course of a year that's set in L.A. in 1940s, and it's a crime-solving game, kind of paying homage to like the Naked City series and all those, the Maltese Falcon, that style of noir.
Mm-hmm.
But the technology they used in the game, they actually figured out a way to film the actors. So we don't have dots on. We're in a suit that has the dots on it, but then what they do is they actually film your face with no dots or anything like that. They film it with a room full of cameras, and from there they create a three-dimensional video image of your face. And so it was groundbreaking technology. So when you're watching the game and you're watching the characters perform, you are watching exactly what the actor was doing on the day it was recorded. There's no other animation to the face at all.
Wow.
So in this game, Pam, you had to interview people and based on their facial expressions, figure out if they were lying or telling the truth or being evasive or so.
Well, my kids play a lot of those games, and so does my husband, so I'll have to ask them if they played that one. I have no clue. If they did, I'll have to take a look at it, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I played one of the most noir-style characters. I was kind of the jaded, disillusioned, mouthy, racist cop who is also very good at what he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, people. I noticed somebody gave me a link to a lot of postings on YouTube where people wanted to change the ending of the game, and the ending of the game was to kill Roy with their car.
Yeah.
So I took that as a huge compliment.
Oh.
Yeah, I like I said, I tried to run you over. You made me want to throw my Xbox remote a couple times. I'm just letting you know, okay?
I when we were doing it, I thought, well, hopefully people will love to hate me.
Yeah, I did. But now I love you since I know who you are.
And I would be sitting there probably saying, no, don't kill Adam.
No, I think if you watched it, you'd be like, okay, I like Adam, but he needs to die.
Oh, no.
Now, there are two...
He hurt.
Yeah. There are two shows that are on currently, well, they're on hiatus right now, that I personally would love to see you in, and that's Revenge and The Walking Dead. I think those two, you would be excellent guest stars in that.
I would love to work on either of those shows. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I'd like to see you play I like to see you play a bad guy.
It's funny you say that because right now I'm shooting an episode of CSI.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
I think it'll be episode number 2 of the new season, and I'm playing a very bad guy.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, I love CSI too.
Oh,
yeah, I do too. Yeah, definitely. Oh, good. I just love seeing the vast differences in roles, from, especially with you've done such diverse roles. I mean, come on, Queer as Folk, and, dropped a Diva, Secret Circle, which is a sci-fi, and now to see you as a bad guy.
I feel very lucky that I've been given a chance to play so many fun things and to kind of step into a variety of different genres and as well as, anytime you get hired, you're happy. But I feel very lucky that not only have I gotten to work consistently, but tried so many different things and met, as you have kind of seen, so many different people and so many people I've admired and are so talented.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever done any Broadway?
No,
I
have
Do you
not.
dance? Do you play any instruments?
Any instruments? I played the trumpet for 8 years. I belonged to a marching band, and it was a 250-member band of teenagers out of a little town called Burlington, Ontario, Canada. And we went all over the world. We went to the 40th anniversary of D-Day. We went to the Rose Bowl parade all over America, and I played trumpet. And then I played solo trumpet. So yeah, I did. Music was very important in my family when we were growing up. So my mom made me take piano lessons, and I hated it, which I now regret because it would be awesome to be able to play the piano. So she said, you can quit piano, but you have to start another instrument. You have to pick something. Mm-hmm. So I picked the trumpet, and played that for 8 years until I went to college.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of music in my life, too. Both of my grandfathers were in bands.
Yeah.
And some of my aunts and uncles and that played. But I loved it. And I think that's probably why I love music so much now.
Yeah.
And gambling.
Please don't tell me that your love of music gave you a fixation on gambling.
No. No, every holiday they always played cards and stuff like that afterwards, and I'd watch them. But no, I really never got into gambling, but I was just kidding on that. But they did play.
Yeah.
So it was funny, with music and cards.
Yeah. And then as far as your question about Broadway, no, I think from going to marine biologist to acting, I think Broadway to start is those people are so amazingly talented and there's so much training and all that stuff. I think now if I was ever lucky enough to get onto Broadway, it might come kind of I would maybe get at it from getting lucky with film and TV or meeting some people through that avenue, and then But that would be again just a. I'm getting, if I was ever on stage, I'd just be, why am I getting paid for this? I would do this for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, your friend Mike is in the chat room.
His name's Mike Pate. So glad to see you working and being productive. Miss you, my friend. Come visit soon. That's what he said.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great.
So
and he said
he
to
doesn't want
give
to
you his email, too. It's mikecpate@hotmail.com. So now everybody knows
friend.
that.
I'll have to follow up on that. What an amazing way to track people down these days.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was telling us that you didn't like feeding those fish all those times.
Well, my graduate school work, I was working with salmon. And to this day, I'm not good with salmon eggs on sushi because it just reminds me too much of my grad school work.
Oh. I don't eat either one, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you share my challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some calls to a couple fans that want to say hi to you before we wrap up. So let's bring them on. Area code 518. Go ahead.
Hi, this is David.
Hi, David.
Hey, David.
Hey. Hey, Adam. I'm pretty new to your scene, but I'm going to catch up thanks to Doug and Pam. My question is to you, what has been the biggest obstacles in your career, and what have you done to overcome them?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. I think one of the biggest obstacles I faced was, I'm not sure if you were listening to the broadcast, I had gone to school for science before I became an actor. So when I started acting, it was later in the game than most people. I was now auditioning against people that had been doing it for 10, 15 years. So the first obstacle I faced was just to kind of play catch-up. But I think having gone to school, you learn how to study and how to really commit yourself, and I was involved in sports, which teaches you the same thing. So I think I just kind of put my nose to the grindstone and studied everything I could and watched film and TV and seeing what they were doing. And I was really lousy the first couple of times out of the gate, which some casting offices really couldn't forget for many, many years afterwards. But that was kind of a big hurdle, is one, to make the career change, and then two, to really focus on it and do the best I could to hopefully offer something, because I didn't really know what I was doing or how to do it. Does that answer your question?
Oh, yes, very well. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you for answering my question, and thank you, Doug and Pam, for offering this show.
No problem.
Thanks
Thank you.
for calling in, David.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you for calling in.
Well, we had another caller, but here they are. I was going to say they got disconnected.
Maybe they had the same question.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It does.
It does. 973, you're on.
Hello?
Hi.
This is Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. Turn down your
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, how are you?
Is this Kathy from in the chat room?
Yes.
Oh, good. You got the courage to call in. Thank you.
Yes, I'm nervous, but yeah, I'll make a couple comments.
Okay.
Hi there, Kathy. How are you?
Hi, Adam. I'm not really familiar with your work, but you sound like a very nice, well-rounded person.
Oh,
and you were on Millennium.
I'm sorry?
You were on the show Millennium?
I was on the show Millennium, yes.
I just loved that show. I really did.
That was a great series.
It really was. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I think I heard you on Castle.
I was on Castle. That's right. I was I was kind of like a fictitious version of Ryan Seacrest hosting a dance competition show.
Oh.
I'll have to go check that.
Episode, but I'm going to watch on YouTube. And how was working with Nathan Fillion?
I'm sorry. How was
it working with Nathan Fillion?
Oh, yeah, great. he of course is both of the leads on the show are from Canada originally, as well am I. So that kind of puts you into a club right there. But they were both great, lots of fun, great sense of humor, very, very welcoming, very generous, and I had an amazing time. I had an amazing time working on that show.
Because he was on One Life to Live, and he was a great actor.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he embraces where he came from, and that's what we love about him too.
That's good. Well, thank you for your comments, Kathy.
Okay. All right.
Never be nervous. Never be nervous to call in. Okay. They're
Thanks
just
for calling,
like us.
Kathy.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah, we get a lot of people who are just so starstruck and shy and scared to call in, and people don't realize, well, we're the host of these shows, and we're just as the same way, and we have to come across as professional as possible, but inside we're going, oh my God, we're on the phone with Adam,
Yeah.
So I mean,
well, I was really happy that you guys wanted me on the show, so I was flattered with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're huge fans, and like I said, I first saw you on Queer as Folk, and I've come to see all your other stuff, and now I'm going to go back and YouTube and Netflix and whatever else I can do to see the rest, and help Pam as well. In the chat room, Mike says, where did Adam get his confidence? When I first saw him on TV, he was floating around naked with a pretty girl on a spaceship. Not confident, but a great job. These days, he looks solid and confident. What changed for him?
Oh, boy.
What TV show was that on?
There was a TV series called The Outer Limits.
Oh
yeah.
And I did 3 of those shows over the playing different characters, and that was I think the very first time I did it was about the time that I did Stargate. The one he's talking about is there was basically a space shuttle went into space with civilians, and giving the outer limits, all hell breaks loose. But I was there with my fiancée, and the naked floating scene he's referring to is us consummating our marriage in zero gravity.
Ah, there you go. Once again, what is it with you?
I was young. Oh, the young days.
You were born to be naked. I mean, come on.
Weren't we all? Really?
Well, that's true. We really were.
Well, that sounds like a good movie title or TV series, Born to Be Naked. Starring Adam J. Harrington.
There
that
you
works.
Go. Well, I won't steal it from you, Pam. It's all yours. Where did I get my well? I'm flattered that he thinks that. I think the wonderful thing about film and television is they always and only choose your best takes. So you can seem very confident, but I think it's like anyone in their life. I think the longer you do something, the more comfortable you become with it, and hopefully the more sure we are about taking risks and taking chances. I think that's a big part of it. And then I think it's just a matter of, we grow up, we're around longer. I think there's a confidence that just comes as every year goes by, whether you're 5 or 10 or 20 or 40 or 50. I think it just kind of happens. And I think everybody can relate to that. Everyone can look at their own job and think, I do this better than I used to. I've learned some things. And I've been lucky that, Mike's comments, I've been lucky enough to have had a lot of, work so that I can get more confident. And I realize how, like you were saying with reality television, every time I go to work, I realize how lucky I am that I get a chance to do something I love.
Yeah, because you could always be cast. Someone could always have come to you and say, "Hey, would you like to be on this new reality show?" And they're so thankful that no one does that. I know that's such an insult. I'm sorry for these shows to go and get actors to come on their reality shows, and it's just like, God, that's such a low blow. I mean,
I think entertainment always shifts and ebbs. It used to be symphonies and live plays, and then it was kind of filmed theater, and the first television was kind of just filmed theater, and then it was variety shows, and then it was, remember the 1970s, it was all the game shows. And the 80s came with like the Miami Vice and the nighttime soap. So I think I think reality serves a place. People like to be entertained. They want to see people like themselves, but I appreciate what you're saying. I would love to see more scripted television, but the scripted television that's out there is really good.
Yeah.
And I think TV today is really giving film a challenge or a run for its money, because there are some great shows on television. But like you say, sometimes you get hooked to one, and then it's at the mercy of whether it's going to continue or not. But
yeah, well, I could do without the Kardashians and Snooki. That's all I got to say. I don't want to see them on my television.
Yeah,
I don't want to see them on the computer.
First on my TiVo.
Exactly.
But it's there for somebody, and that's the great thing.
Yeah.
I can do something that hopefully somebody likes, and there's stuff there for everybody.
Yeah, but I prefer that a talent be famous for their talent, not being famous for being famous. That's just my thing. I want to see someone's work and such. So, I don't want to keep any more of your time. I could talk to you all night long, like we're brothers from another mother, So we'll wrap this up. But we'll definitely, once you got some more stuff lined up, we'll love to have you back and catch up on what's coming. And hope there's we'll look for CSI this fall.
Look for CSI. Also coming this fall is on Fox, which I'm sure some of your viewers have seen the ads for. The series called The Mob Doctor.
Oh yeah.
And I'm on the pilot of that, and will most likely recur. We're not sure when because of the nature of the series, but that's an exciting thing that's happening as well.
All right.
Make sure that you tweet it out to us, anytime something's coming up, and, we'll make sure to get it to all of our followers.
I will for sure. Anyway, thank you both so much for having me. I've enjoyed our conversation.
Thank
you.
No
problem. And everybody tune in to Drop Dead Diva this Sunday on Lifetime so you can catch Adam.
Yes, beautiful. It's on at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
Oh, you guys are great.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Adam, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Bye, Pam.
All right.
Bye, Doug.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, what a handsome man. That was Adam Harrington, Adam J. Harrington. There must be another Adam Harrington out there, because usually when they put the J in their name, that means there's another one out there, because you can't have the same name as somebody else. Anyway, so thank you so much for tuning in tonight to the Tribute Series. You can follow us on Twitter at Tribute Series, and you can also go to our website, www, however many W's you need, thetributeseries.net. Make sure you go to .net, not .com. That's somewhere else. That's somebody else. Next up for the Tribute Series is Monday. We have actor Jimmy Duvall, also known as James Duvall. You can go to IMDb to see if you've seen anything that he's in.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been over 50 films, and he's one of my favorite indie actors. So definitely tune in for that. It should be a lot of fun. Then next Tuesday we have a Guiding Light family reunion. So if you're a Guiding Light fan from CBS that you don't want to miss, we have Ron Raines, who played Alan Spaulding, the patriarch of the show. We have Lillian Raines, played by Tina Sloan. We have Beth Raines, portrayed by Beth Chamberlain. So we're having a family reunion at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on the Tribute Series. Also, the week after, we have Audrey Landers from Dallas. She was on the original Dallas back in the day, and she played Afton. And we'll be catching up with her and talking about her time on television and her career in singing and charities and everything else that she's working on. Then the 27th, we have Texas Battle from Marcus Forster from The Bold and the Beautiful. He'll be returning for the third time to to announce the two winners from his giveaway to visit the set of The Bold and the Beautiful, and also have a lunch with him. So that will be great. Fans of One Life to Live will enjoy our show with Jessica Morris. She played Jen. Is that correct?
Yes. Jen Rappaport.
Okay. Yep, Jen Rappaport. So she'll be with us on the 28th. And then coming September 17th, we have Julia Barr, who played on All My Children as...
oh, my God. Brooke. I just went blank.
Brooke Chandler. Brooke Chandler, thank you. Yeah, I just went blank, too. I've been saying this every night. So, yeah. So that's what we got booked so far. But, you can always go back and listen to any of our shows. If you're new to our show, we were also formerly known as the Soap Series, and we also had a second show called the Tribute Series. We decided to merge them together as we're going towards, not only daytime, but primetime film, musicians, actors, and everyone else. We have a lot of other people that we're working on getting, so definitely stay tuned for our Twitter Twitter account, Facebook account, which would be facebook.com/The Tribute Series. Click like and catch up with us there as well. And if you
subscribe to our blog talk.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
You'll never miss an episode because they send you out an email every time there's a show.
Yes, every time I schedule a show, they send you an email to let you know, and then they send you a reminder like a half hour before the show, so that way you don't miss it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know you had a show on, or
Yeah.
But the fans know that we're usually on 9 days, 5 days a week at 9, and but yeah, if you go to blogtalkradio.com/soap series, I haven't changed that yet because there's a lot of work involved with the links of our previous shows, but if you go to blogtalkradio.com/soap series, click on follow, and you just have to put your email in, and you won't get spam, you'll just get emails regarding our show, and that will help you not miss any shows. And then also we send out an email as soon as our shows are done, so you can listen to one that you may have missed that night. So it will help a lot, and it will also help for us to have more followers, so that way we can make sure you guys never miss an opportunity to participate in our shows. Thank you, David, for calling, and thank you, Kathy, for calling tonight. Adam was a delight. I'm going to go online right now and do some viewing of some of his works. I definitely want to see him floating naked in a pool with a spacecraft, right? Or whatever that was. So anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great night. We will unless we get a booking for this week, the rest of this week, we will be back Monday the 6th at 9 p.m. with James Duvall. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night. And Pam, I'll let you say goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. God bless.
Good night. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Good night, Pam.
Bye.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.
Obvious.
But
I'm not sure what was in there, if that was you or not. But
I had some padding, but I thought I was going to be able to get away with some underwear, and that just wasn't going to happen. So there was some stuff done to keep the censors at bay, but that was pretty much it.
Yes, when you made your appearance, I was like, pause, rewind, pause.
Well, thank you. I'm very flattered.
They did a good job with that, because going through the series itself, watching Michael and Justin create this comic book, and when it was coming to become a film, I was like, God, who are they going to be to play Rage, aka Brian's character? And wow, they did a great job when they found you.
Well, I was I was happy to come in, and like you say, at that time, excuse me, that series really pushed envelopes in a lot of ways. Not only exposure for that community, but a lot of controversial issues. And I remember being in LA for the season premiere of the 5th season. So I came in at the end of season 4 and finished my storyline at the very beginning of season 5. And they knew it was going to be the last season. And I was in LA, and to hear them get up and speak, the creators of the show and some other people, and hear them talk about, when this show came and the political changes that had happened while it was on, I was very happy to get the gig when I got it, just to be involved. But I was really proud of being able to be involved in that show, considering, I think when it first started being cast, nobody would submit their clients. At that time, a show like that in Los Angeles, or in America anyway, people weren't going near it. And it wasn't until Sharon Gless signed on. She found out about it, went after it, and it was only after she signed on that that agencies were comfortable submitting their clients.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and I just remember. Well, I think it speaks very highly of Sharon as well as the other cast members that came on. But I just thought, wow, things have definitely changed.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would bring another show of that caliber back to to cable. I mean, of course, Showtime or HBO would have to air it because of the
Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Welcome to the Tribute Series, where we pay tribute to the stars. And here are your hosts, it's Doug and Pam.
Oh, I have to laugh at that every time. I can't help it. Anyway, welcome to the Tribute Series. I'm your host, Doug, and I have my own little drop-dead diva with me tonight. She is Pam, my co-host. Pam, welcome to the show.
I have to start thinking of names for you.
Okay, well, you have to be the one that starts the show to call me names. So by all means, you can definitely lead in the show. So how are you today?
Good. I'm always happy when we have a guest.
Yeah, especially when they're handsome and talented like our guest Adam tonight, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Is this where I chime in and say thank you?
Oh yeah. By all means, you don't have you can just listen to us talk about you, boost your ego. Anyway, our guest is Adam Harrington tonight, and he, as you can tell, is on the phone with us. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Oh, no problem. She had mentioned that you were going to be on Drop Dead Diva. Is it this coming week?
This coming Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will definitely. I've missed a few episodes. I got to go get caught up, and then I can see you on my television, because I do miss you on my television, because Secret Circle is no longer with us, and Queer as Folk is no longer with us, and those were two of my favorite shows.
Oh, really? Yeah, those were.
And you were fantastic on your arc in Queer as Folk, I must say. I missed that show. That was a classic, beautiful done show, and we needed that for our community. We needed something like that, and you definitely came in right there at the end of the series and showed your stuff, per se.
Well, I love his little suit thingy he wore.
Oh yeah, that was
rage.
And the trick of that suit was it was a metallic spandex, and anything the suit touched, it would rub off. So I couldn't. Once I was in that thing, I couldn't really sit or anything. And we had to get me on set. The other thing is that it was skin tight.
Yes, it was.
Because I thought that our relationship was so well written. A lot of it had to do with what's not said. I mean, there's a lot of times it became this pattern of he asks me something and I don't answer him and he walks away.
Yeah.
But I think our first scenes together were so nicely written, and so much was kind of on the page that we just kind of both walked into it. And then we reminisce about old movies. He's an old movie buff and a phenomenally talented musician as well. So, but you can tell I think he's been working since he was 4.
Yeah, he has. It's amazing. And speaking of his music, I mean, not many people know, unless they're really hardcore fans, know about his music. And his album that he has out is just phenomenal. I mean, it's so unique and different than a lot of the stuff that's out there. And he's just multi-talented. He's one of those actors that can just do so many different levels. And he was so great in this show. And then, so hopefully, I hope he gets another pilot as well. And I hope you get another pilot as well. Because we need more Adam.
I don't think he'll be lacking for work. I think he's so talented in so many different areas. I think in a way, he's easily cast, but also very unique.
Yeah.
And I think that bodes well for a very long career.
Yeah, definitely. Now, going back to Queer Spoke for a second, there was some graphic scenes in there. How are you able to go into that mindset to perform those type of scenes? Because it must be interesting and tough and different than anything you've ever done before.
Well, bourbon is a great motivator. No, I think I only had one sex scene.
Yeah, with the
intense.
character of Justin. Yeah.
With the character of Justin.
Yeah.
The irony, of course, is when they filmed it. It was filmed in, for your listeners, it was shot in, I think, a kind of a generic hotel room or someone's bedroom or something like that. But we didn't actually have one because where they were shooting, I think in similar episodes, they were at a giant pool party in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
So they just built a bedroom in the corner of the pool party set.
Oh, wow.
And then kind of had a closed set. And then they came and talked to us and just said, it's
the content. Thank you, the word I was looking for. But it was short-lived. It was only 5 seasons, and I was really hoping for more. And I've always wanted to have a reunion show, but they've never done that. Where they 10 years later, where are they now? Type thing, and it blasted them all off to different projects. And now you recently were on The Secret Circle and worked again with Gail Harold. And how was that to reconnect with him?
Well, it was fantastic working with Gail. Gail is, I think, an incredibly talented actor, and he's the nicest guy as well. But he and I had never met.
Oh, you didn't?
No, we'd never met on Queer as Folk because me playing the actor playing the comic book hero that was based on him, we never had any scenes together, and he was never there when I was there. So the first time we met was meeting at the hotel, getting into the transport vehicle to be taken to set for Secret Circle. Mm-hmm. Which was kind of like, hi, Rage. Yeah, you were Rage, and I played you. Hi. How are you? Nice to meet you. I still got away with, I think, being less naked than he was in this series.
Yeah.
But we had, I think, the very first scene we shot in Secret Circle was the drowning scene from the pilot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was just a great fun way to start. And we talked about how, our characters had probably known each other for a very long time, but it started out well. I loved working with him. I loved watching his stuff, and it would have been fantastic to see where they took his character and my character in a second season, but I was just happy, to get the chance to kind of come full circle in a way in the time that we did have.
Yeah, it's nowadays, I mean, I'm 38, so I've grown, I'm still young, but not up there. But when growing up, TV shows used to last forever. They would be on for 8 or 9 seasons, or longer or shorter, rough about. And now, no show gets a chance. They're either canceled 2 episodes in, or canceled and they have unaired episodes, or they get 1 season and they're not picked up. One of the 2 that really pissed me off this year was The Secret Circle and Ringer. Those 2 shows were a complete season. And then, bam, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know anything about the future now because it's been canceled. I mean, it's not fair to us who invest our weekly in promoting the show and weekly investment into the show. It just really is. It's sad for us, but it's also sad because of the crews and the actors and actresses and creators of the show. And and Secret Circle was such a great, unique show. Sort of like the Craft and. And I look in your resume, and you've done a lot of these like sci-fi type guest stars as well. So you really must like that type of thing, or hey, that's just a job that came about that time. I'm not sure which is which, but you've done a lot of like Star Trek and a lot of the other type of shows, Millennium or something. I believe that was one of them.
I did. Millennium was one of my first. Well, I lived for a while in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm not sure if you know how much is filmed there, but Vancouver has a lot of sci-fi stuff. I think the geography is good. It's raining. It's dark. Even the architecture is slightly surreal and modernistic, and I think it lends really well to sci-fi. So when you're living there and working, you can't help but end up working on a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And X-Files up there too?
X-Files was, I think the first big series that came out of Vancouver, and I could be getting this wrong because it's going back so far, was MacGyver. I know that X-Files, when that came along, it was the first big hit award-winning series that I think Vancouver had. And then Millennium kind of spun out of that, and then, of course, it did all the Stargates, which, when you were talking about shows that I think the first one ran for 10 seasons.
Yeah.
So Vancouver's a great sci-fi place.
Yeah.
So I think any actor working there, you're going to end up working on sci-fi. Do I kind of seek it out? I don't think I'm quite there career-wise yet to say I will only work in this genre. But they've been great opportunities for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely for sure. How was it working with Thomas Dekker? I'm a huge fan of his.
Oh. Thomas is, I think the very first time I was on set with him, he's such a pro and he's been at it for such a long time. It was obvious. And then it would just, I don't think we even talked that much about our relationship.